Nice. I have an idea. Let's talk about edge highlighting. Hi. Edge highlighting is a very useful technique, something I think is pretty essential to any painter's arsenal. It's a technique to kind of quickly pull up some sharp contrast and frame things up. Even if you're not the best at blending necessarily, you can still do a lot with a base coat, a wash, and an edge highlight. So I'm hoping to expand a little bit on some of the intricacies of edge highlighting. So let's get into it. Behold, the cube of learning. We will get to the model. He's waiting off to the side, but I wanted to demonstrate things on a larger level and on a much more simple form. We have some nice straight lines and 90-degree angles. The paint is not diluted. There's a little bit of moisture on the brush, so it slides off. But all you're doing is gently pressing the brush down and trying to meet that 90-degree angle with the side of the bristles. I'm not using it like a pencil. I'm using it like a broom and making these sideways swipes, and the three-dimensional aspects of the model are going to pick up paint on that raised edge. So that's what it looks like when it goes right, but what happens when it goes wrong? I see some people putting too much paint on their brush. Consider that if you put a globe of paint on the end of your brush, if it looks like the head of a match when you're about to paint your model, the dimensions of that circle, that glob of paint, are going to reach around the edges. So you want the brush to maintain its form. I still want it to look like in a brush shape. I don't want to be slopping a globby ball of paint around. And also, every edge highlight can also be its own gradient. If this is fine with you, then I'm happy. But on these miniature figures, we're trying to raise the contrast. We're kind of push the dimensions to make them appear more dramatic and as they would appear in a more lifelike style. So making sure to not completely cover that previous edge highlight, I can always go and add on to what I've laid down, and yeah, every little edge highlight can be its own gradient. So let's move over to the figure. Old Mr. Legion of the Damned Marine. A lot of edges. You can go crazy on edge highlighting a Space Marine. If you want to make things easy on yourself, I would recommend just edge highlighting the upward facing angles of the model. You can do the lower sides as well if you like, but that's just my suggestion. And maybe if you are highlighting the lower sides, drop the volume of the paint down a little bit. But here we'll just gently run that brush along the edge. You're going to have to rotate the model around in your hands. Find these strange angles. I'd recommend a painting handle. You can use a bottle of paint, an extra display plinth. I'm using a hobby holder here from Game Envy. Big thanks to them. But it makes it a lot easier when painting. If you happen to be just holding onto the model's base, it gets a little bit tricky. You see I have to flip the model upside down. So just remember, though, to swipe very lightly. The amount of pressure you apply is going to have a direct relation to how wide that line comes out. So you want to be very fine. You can see when I'm laying these edges on, sometimes I'll miss because I'm trying to press so lightly. I'm overemphasizing what's happening, but I'm this far away from the model, but I'll go in there and sweep, and I'm kind of calibrating. You see, it's not done in just one laser-focused, precise stroke. I'm taking a moment to approach that edge gently, and then, once I find it, I can move along. And of course, I want to bump it up a little bit. Some extra white highlights. Making sure to not completely cover that previous layer, so everything's kind of raising itself upwards towards that zenithal light source. And that's a wrap. I hope you're enjoying this first series of beginner videos. Just wanted to lay down the foundation, kind of create the dictionary of these techniques, so if in the future when I'm using them in a video, you may ask yourself, what is he talking about? You can refer back to these semi-short videos to get clued up. But yeah, we've set the foundation, and now we can start moving into more advanced techniques. I'm going to use the Legion of the Damned model for a couple more. Yeah, I have so many ideas, and I'm very thankful for all the support that's come in. So we'll just keep going, and I just wanted to pass along my appreciation. So I'll see you next time.